Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I'm going to briefly share how to log into AWS with MFA, multi-factor authentication, and also doing a switch role all through the terminal. To do this, we are only going to make some configurations in two files, namely credentials and config in this specific directory. If you don't have these files already, you can just create these files. But before that, let me give you some context. I recently worked on a project and the company created a new AWS account for me. Now this account has limited privileges, and for me to carry out my task, I would need to do a switch role to a higher privilege developer account. At the same time, they also implement MFA, multi-factor authentication. So before I show you how to do it through the terminal, let me just walk through what it looks like on the console. So this is the AWS console. When you sign in, immediately the MFA pops up. I already have it linked to my phone, so let me quickly supply the code. Okay, so now we're in, and this account actually has limited privileges. Normally, I would need to go ahead and do a switch role. I'm not going to do that right now, but we will jump in straight to the terminal. So the first two files that we need to edit is the credential file. VI, okay. The format of which is, if you have, for example, account 1, then you give it the AWS access key ID, you replace it here, and the secret access key ID. If you have multiple accounts, you're working on multiple projects, all you need to do is just keep adding those different accounts. So it's going to look something like this if you have many accounts. Okay, save that. The second one is the AWS config, and so you edit the config file. Over here you put the different profiles and they need to match uh, the credentials that you have. So if you have like two different profiles for different regions, there are more configurations that you can add. This is just the most basic one, and it's going to look something like this. Now this is not exactly what we wanted, because we want to do MFA and also switch role, right? So imagine that you are logging in with account 1, okay, and you want to have a privileged access to a developer profile. So this is what it's going to look like. Profile dev, you have role ARN of that dev account. Okay, you would need to replace this to what fits your context. And the source profile, which is account 1, and also the MFA serial of that, the MFA serial ARN of that account. So how this works is that when you set your profile to dev, it is actually going to use the credential of the source profile account 1 and do a privilege access with the MFA. So let's go ahead and save that. How do you switch between accounts? This is basically what you do. You do export AWS underscore profile, account 1, account 2, and in our case, we want that privilege access of the dev profile. So simply you just put dev. Now this dev profile, remember we didn't have any dev, I would say dev profile in the credentials file. It's only in the config file. So we didn't give any credentials for dev, but it is going to use the source profile of account 1, which has credentials saved. This is just to check how or what profile you are on. So for example, you're working on different projects, right? You can switch. Let me now switch to account 2, for example. And just to check before you execute any task, if you want to know which profile you are on, that's how you do it. So let me quickly switch back to the dev profile, and I will get back to you in a minute because I know just now I only place like the template. So let me fix this to my own specific use case. Okay, I fixed my credentials and config file. Most probably you will see it in a blurred out fashion. So this is what I have. I only have one account with the access key and secret access key. And in my config file, I have the account 1 with its region specified and the dev profile with the role ARN, source profile of account 1, and MFA serial all set up. Alright, so let's test it out. Before that, let me make sure I'm on the right profile. Alright, AWS profile dev, and let me run this command. And there we go. It's asking for my MFA code similar to the AWS console. Let me quickly supply the code, 1 second. And boom, we're in my AWS account since it's responding without any errors. So that's it from me in this video. Till next time. Assalamu alaikum.